Hello and welcome to the Abundology podcast. I'm Renee Spears, and today we're going international. I am joined by a dear friend of mine who also happens to be a thought leader in conscious business, and she lives in Switzerland. So, Valérie Demont, I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me again. And I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. It's such a chance.
We always have the best conversations about life and business and, you name it. So, and I know that we're both really tuned into the energy of what's happening on the planet right now. Between the numerology of being in a 1 year, the year of the fire horse, and all those like major astrological shifts, it feels like we're in the middle of this huge awakening and consciousness shift. Like we're seeing it everywhere, globally, in our personal lives, and very clearly in the way business is evolving too. So,
Yes.
yeah, so you wrote a book called Being is the New Doing. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. But what we're talking about absolutely applies to business, but it also applies just as much to our personal lives. Like those two things aren't separate anymore. And, in the olden days, we talk a lot about the work-life balance as if work was, something over here and life was something over there and you had to balance them. But now that we're more awake and conscious, we're starting to understand that it's all life. The way that we show up in our work is the same way we show up everywhere in life. And business is just, becoming an extension of who we are, not something that costs us our well-being. So, one thing that I loved in the book that you wrote about is how we were all brought in, we all believed in this idea. We got really bought into this idea that we had to work hard.
Yes, and we've been conditioned this way to work hard, to have success, to deserve the life we dreamt of, and so on. But the thing is that we if we keep exhausting ourselves working, we cannot enjoy our life. That's probably why you changed too. So
That's
and
exactly why I changed. Yes.
and the thing is that first we cannot enjoy our success, and then at what cost do we succeed? And what's the price, the cost of that? Our family, our health, uh, even maybe a marriage, or a burnout, or maybe even worse, so cancer, or I don't know what. So yes, I really don't understand. Okay, we have to work to have money, to pay our rent, some insurance, eat, some taxes. Okay, but then some leisure. Okay, but why more? And I had this conversation with a worker who came to do some work in my bathroom last week. And he said he's happy with 3 employees, the income he has. And because he said one more employee or more growth means more problems. And I don't want that because my son is 10 or 12. I can't remember exactly the age of his son. And I want to spend time with him. And that's the most important thing for me. And this guy was so young, and it's not common to have that kind of consciousness. First of all, a man. He's Portuguese, so Portuguese people are really into success, and they are very ambitious. And then he was very young and working in construction and buildings. So yes, it's not one spiritual coach who is really already open. So it was really great to have this conversation with him.
Yeah, and I think that he is aware of something, that this idea of success is shifting. Like, success used to be more and more, bigger, bigger, more employees, more money. And I've talked to a bunch of girlfriends that have owned businesses like me with employees and all the responsibility. And all of us realize that that is just not the way to go. Like, success means something different to us now.
Yes.
Having downtime, enjoying our lives, being present. When we're working so hard, we're not present to how great things really are.
But of course, and what's the point, to have this success, have this money, and have no time to spend this money or to enjoy life or take some time with our loved ones or whatever is important for us. So yes, I think really has to change, and it's a good question to ask ourselves, what's the taste of success? How does success look like for us?
Yes.
And which part of us, who inside us wants this former definition of success?
Yes. Yeah. Very good point. Yeah, especially right now. Well, let's talk a little bit before we move on about how you see business shifting, because we're in this huge consciousness awakening right now. What
Yes.
are some of the ways? Well, let's start with AI. Like, oh my gosh, the changes with AI. What are you seeing with AI and how it's affecting businesses?
So it's very concrete because I have some friends who used to run AI agencies with a big team, I don't know, 10 people. And they fired more than a half of their team last year because of AI, because of content production, copywriting, and coding.
Yep,
So that's three job that AI can do.
yep.
And because of that, companies develop their own communication department, internalize these jobs instead of externalizing it and delegate it outside. So those friends are really thinking, okay, what's my added value today? Do I have? What can I bring to the world? To my clients. And so one is thinking about having the 360 view on the project because he's outside of the company, and the other one is thinking to find a job.
Yeah.
But what kind of job? When you've been your own boss for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely benefits to it. We know the benefits to it. But what I have noticed, I am not a great writer. I have lots of other skills. Writing is just not one of them, like you're a fabulous writer. And so I have used AI to, help me write some of my Substack articles. And what I noticed is that a lot of people that do that, I'm calling myself out now, the articles all sound the same. They're
yes.
not our own voice anymore.
Yeah.
We're all deluded to this I don't even know what you'd call it. So I have vowed not to do that. I'm going to actually write my own articles. They might be crappy. I might have AI like fix my grammar and stuff, but I don't want it to dilute who I am.
But that's exactly I have a podcast in French, and that's exactly the episode that is out today, because I see so many, of course, on Substack, but LinkedIn as well, and, other social media as well, where the content is written in the same way. Everybody's losing his own voice. And what was the point, to do all this personal branding and marketing positioning if it's to lose your voice then? And the thing is that what makes us unique is the way we talk, the way we see the thing, the way we formulate. Okay, in my head, it's always a little bit crazy, like popcorn, and it's hard for me to structure and go straight to the point. But that's who I am. And the thing is that, yes, I was the first one to say, okay, use AI, you will be able to produce more content and you will be structured, it's easier and so on. Of course, it's easier. But what's your voice? What's your message? What's your tone? What's your unique vocabulary? In French, I say shit every and fuck every two sentences. It's nowhere anymore. So in English, I don't know how to place a fuck in my sentence, so I don't use it. But in French, it's really part of who I am. So I think we can use AI for 75% of the work. We can delegate 75%. But the 25% is our unique message, unique posture, tone, vocabulary, ideas, unique point of view. Of course, you can, record all your ideas and give the vocal to Chat or Claude okay, it's your ideas, but the way it writes, it's not you anymore.
It's not. And we're moving really into this time everywhere of being authentic.
Yeah.
And AI takes away our authenticity. It sucks us fucking dry. That's how you use the F word in English, right there.
I love that. And it's draining us. It's draining our personality. And furthermore, what's the point to create more and more and more content where people have no time to read it because they are overwhelmed by others doing exactly the same? So, for some of my local clients, I told them, okay, there's no more stuff in my mailbox, in the street. There's nothing. There's no letter anymore. So do some flyers and put the flyers in those mailbox.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody is doing that anymore.
No, they're
So
not.
do it.
Yeah. And when I have a few clients that will send me cards in the mail,
Yes.
it's such a treat to go to the
Absolutely.
mailbox and open it and you see the card and they took the time to find the card, write it, mail it. It's so much better than just let me pop my idea into AI and pop up an article somewhere.
And so there is, this shift with, okay, I talk about the communication agencies, but the coaches I know have really struggled to have clients. Even some I had former clients who are working for hospitals and emergency, they have less clients as well. And recently, I just saw a report written by people at Anthropic, Claude,
Yep.
and it was a real alert about a real alarm about people are delegating so many stuff to AI, even when to take a shower. And so that it's really getting crazy how people trust AI for their day-to-day life. And so it's what is happening to humanity?
Yeah. And with that, what's happening to traditional coaching? Like, do you feel like we're coming to the end of that? I know that I do business mentoring also, like you do, and spirit guide channeling and spiritual mentoring, all that stuff. But I'm really thinking that we're in a time now where we need more. We need channeling. We need to be able
Yes.
to trust our intuition. It isn't just somebody spouting out, advice anymore. It's like knowing it and trusting it in your heart and soul.
Yes. And from that, giving the right advice.
Yes.
Because I think that with all this information available everywhere, ChatGPT or whatever, giving all the answer and reassuring us and comforting us in what we think, we really need a unique point of view or a 360 point of view with advice from our soul or guide, and as well the exact advice or thing that has to be done following the session. Because as people are so overwhelmed, when they leave the session, they don't have time to figure out what the guide said and what the next action. They already have to know the action, the tool they have to use, having the plan and so on, so that they can act, and act not from scarcity, pressure, ego, or whatever, but from the alignment. So we have to be sure, as we are not traditional coach,
Yeah,
but
we're
as
not.
mentor or consultant, we have to be sure that they leave our session in this state.
Yeah, in alignment.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. And also learning how to trust their intuition. Like we
Of
have
course.
this superpower that, I don't think very many people use, and then others of us don't trust it. So it's learning how to really trust
Yes.
your knowing of how things should be.
I can't count the number of times some of my clients came back to me and said, "Oh, I had this issue, but I already knew that it will go this way. So why didn't you listen to your intuition?" I was not sure that it's my intuition, because the traditional way to do things is the opposite.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
okay, so please log, take a journal like your accounting, and take notes of each single time your intuition was right. And at one point, you will be able to trust it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
in your book, Being is the New Doing, which I love it, you have
yes,
a method called the fluid method, and you talk about how it reveals that the fear that our fear is actually our source of our greatest creativity, our abundance, and our freedom. Can you talk a little bit about that?
yes. So I will link it with intuition, because sometimes, we have intuition and instinct, and instinct is here to, yes, it's a part of wisdom and a part to protect us, but it has always, this fight and flight reaction, or even freeze. But here it's more the fight reaction. And when instinct raise and we feel it, and we feel the urge to act, it's difficult. Some may say, "Oh, it's my intuition or my sixth sense," but it's not that. Actually, It's something inside you preventing you from something and protecting you. And if you feel this urge to act and you are not in a death danger, you are not gonna die in the second, it's not your intuition, because intuition is has time. It comes from the soul. So it has the whole life to be embodied and heard and embodied. So it has the time. So it will come subtler and subtler and sometimes harder and clearer if you don't listen to it. But the only way to, don't listen to the instinct voice and recognize the intuition is to step back and have time, slow down. But it's not always possible. So you can laugh, you can dance, find a way to shift your energy, or do some breath work or yoga or a walk or whatever, just to stop, but because sometimes the urge is pressuring you to act. And so find a way to stop your thoughts. So yes, laughing is probably the best way. And because breath work is really hard when you have issues with your thoughts. And then here in this moment in between, I would like to say, it's almost like when you breathe in and then you breathe out, in between there is a little space. And if you can put your attention to this little space, I don't know, microseconds, and sometimes if you do some box breathing, it can expand. And this moment in between holds, the connection to the whole universe. And so your creativity, solution, unexpected moment, you can listen to your inner voice, your intuition, your guides, or whatever. And if you are not used to that, probably box breathing is the best way to pay attention to the moment in between.
Well, and I think one of the things that I love about you is, like me, we're putting all of this together. It's not our woo-woo side and then our business. This is all who we are. And so you've taken it's, and I love this in your book too, about all of the processes for your practice and being aligned and slowing down, and then how that affects your work, and how so much more in tune we are with what's happening.
Of course, because we want the world first to change, and then it's changing anyway. And then we left the business as usual to have our own life in business, both included, and then as the world is changing and the way of working is changing as well. So it's really part of this year one and fire horse, and it's a new cycle emerging now. So we have to find a way to do business in another way, and not only business but to live in another way, because it's part of our life. It's the most part of our life.
Well, and it is the most part of our life that we're doing that, but we've seen that business has to adapt over and over and over. We've seen it with the Industrial Revolution, when the internet came out,
Yes.
during COVID. All of these times businesses had to adapt. And now we're in the most transformative time of our life. Like,
Yes.
we, as humans, especially our life, we won't experience something like this again in our lifetime.
No.
Not only do we have to adapt, business must change. And if you don't change right now and you're an entrepreneur, I'm afraid to say I don't know how long you will be able to continue.
And the thing is that, we feel it has to change. Like my two friends having their communication agency. But now, I talked with them last week and the week before. Now, they really don't know what's coming for them. And they have no idea because first they are, yes, sad.
Yeah,
And then they are, anxious, and they need money because they waited too long to reinvent themselves. And so, but for coaches, or I don't know who the audience is, but I think there is a lot of coaches in your audience. So they really have to reinvent themselves right now, like today, or maybe
today. Yes,
like today, yes.
yes,
Or, okay, because Saturn and Neptune really ask that. Pluto is dissolving what no longer works. And then we have Uranus in Gemini. So, within those first 6 months, at one point, they will have the idea and the solution. But if they are stuck in the hamster wheel, trying to find absolutely, and I know that it's really hard to hear that because I'm a doer and I want things to happen and I love to push things, but it's really a bad habit, and we really have now to decondition ourselves. If we don't have enough money, let's find a job. I don't know, go to a coffee bar and make some coffee just to have the minimum money. Just the time you figure out the stuff.
yes. Agreed. Yes, when you're in scarcity and you're feeling like I got to pay the mortgage this month. I got to eat. And you're in that energy, it is really, really hard to step off the hamster wheel
Yes.
and go into the, which I laugh at myself sometimes when I don't have an idea or I don't know what's going on. I just go for a walk. If you are in the scarcity mode, you don't do that. You send out another email, you create another program, you hustle, 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 and we are moving away from that. Totally moving away
Yes.
from that.
And the thing that when you create from this hustle and from the scarcity, you are creating from ego, inner pressure, bad instinct, just to, you're in a survival mode. So you're exhausting yourself, your nervous system is really depleted. And then imagine the kind of energy you put, it's all negative that you're putting out to the world. So no one will buy
No,
what you have worked on. And
no,
it's a shame because probably the idea was not that bad, but it was, you was at that time when you had this idea and created a new membership or whatever, and there are too many memberships on the market. So it's another
agreed.
question, not the subject. But when you create from that place, the energy is not good. And so the other one, your clients, your audience can feel that because they have a nervous system, they have their limbic brain all reactive, and so they feel that even if you don't, they just read you. And furthermore, it's written the same way that the other one because you delegate all the stuff to AI. So just, the 2 days you rush and you hustle to create that, take those, and you are losing your time, totally losing your time. Take those 2 days, rest, sleep, dance, drink, I don't know, go out for a walk, do whatever you need to change your mind and relax, and the idea will come and the solution will come. But don't require an answer from the new universe. Just make yourself available and trust that it will come. Because if you expect a result in a special way, you won't get it.
And as we're moving into this other time where our consciousness is shifting, where you were talking about people being able to feel your energy, like that's always been a thing, but it's becoming more so now because everybody is more consciously aware and in tune. That you may not, once again, consciously know it, but you can feel the energy differently from different businesses.
Yes, and you may not be aware, or you weren't aware of that, but your body already knew that, because a lot of people said, oh, it smells bad, I can't feel it, I don't like this person, um, I know, but I don't know why. I know I know here, I have this gut feeling and I have goosebumps and all that. It's a sign that and that it's already here, but you didn't never really paid attention to that. Or
Well,
people.
yeah, and I think that right now being in alignment is like it. You have to be in alignment with yourself, with spirit, God, guides, all the
Yeah.
same energy up there, and what you are doing, what your purpose is. And I think that that's a lot of what your work is in this book that I love. So, okay, one more thing before we wrap this up. I've been wondering what your thoughts are on social media.
Oh,
It
it's the end. And
is
I'm
the
not the
end.
only one to think that. So we already had this conversation, I know, last year, if I remember well. And I had this conversation with social media consultant in France who are really famous social media consultant, and I knew them for 15 years now. And I asked them, "Oh, you're still there? Really? Don't you think it's the end?" And he said, "Okay, yes, it is the end, and I'm not really here anymore. But there is nothing to replace it now. So yes, I'm here, but I'm not here anymore." And it's the same for me. But I think there is as well another way to use it, to make one-on-one relations.
Mm.
For example, with Substack, I try to DM the new, not each time because yes, I'm human, but the new subscribers, I try to DM them, reward them, ask them why they follow me, where they are today, and just to build a relationship, to build connection, not really to I don't want to sell anything to them, but just have a relationship, a more a deeper relationship probably than just putting likes.
Yes, I have to say that I have over this past week, two really great new connections. Both of them came from Substack. And I love these people, whether they're clients or not. I imagine we're going to be friends for a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love Substack. I'm not a fan of Facebook or Instagram. I don't do TikTok or anything like that. It just has never felt right for me. And
Yeah.
so now I have seen and talked to a lot of coaches because business is kind of drying up in that area that are just more and more and more on social media, posting more on social media. And it's like you said, I just think it's dried up. I think we're at the end. I'm kind of overjoyed for that.
Yes, I like that too. But if I really want to go worldwide and meet people worldwide, I have no idea how to reach all those people and build great relationship without social media,
Uh,
So
yeah, but with
yeah,
Uranus now moving into Gemini very soon,
yeah,
next month, I think, in April. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really exciting to see what comes of that.
yeah,
As you know, a Gemini sun, Gemini moon, so I'm
yeah.
overjoyed for whatever it is that's coming next with that
Yes, yes,
transit.
yes. And I'm in love with Uranus. So yes,
Yes,
I'm thrilled to
yes.
see this movement. And the other thing I wanted to say that there is a lot of people moving from LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook to Substack, but I think they really have to pay attention to the code there and just don't do the exact same they hated on those platforms and reproduce it on Substack, because this space is so beautiful with beautiful people and the content is deeper and very interesting. So yes, yes, if you move, please, if you join Substack, please find a way to have your own voice. Even if you use AI, but just don't copy paste your old Instagram strategy there, because you left. If you leave Instagram, it's not to reproduce what you hated on another one. So yeah.
Well, I like the idea of taking our authentic selves to Substack.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, social media, it's just so fake. It's not who we are. Most of us aren't who we authentically are. So, what about just bringing you to Substack? Not all the bullshit that we've posted everywhere else?
Yes, and it will be such a great test, to
Yes.
find a new plan, to start a new platform with who we truly are.
Yes, yes. This goes exactly with what we've been talking about today, too. So, now you are a former marketing strategist, and now you're a mentor for conscious entrepreneurs. And I just love how you bridge business strategy and all the other stuff, soul, spirit, alignment, intuition, all of it. You bridge those together in your work. It's fabulous. I love working with you. I've never met someone who is so aligned with how I see business. So if you would like to work with that Valerie too, she's offering 40% off a 1 hour session with the code Renee. I like that. I will put a link to schedule with her in the show notes. Also, we you can pre-order her book right now on Amazon. The Being is the New Doing. It's only 99 cents. It's on Kindle until the 30th of March, and then you can get the hardback too. Yeah, I am so excited. I've read your book, clearly. Honestly, I was there for all of it. I was there when you said, I think I'm going to write a book. And I was there when you went to the mountain for 2 weeks and wrote, a big chunk of the book and then got it published. And then, got it translated into English and, all the things. It's been really, really great to watch you on this journey.
Thank you. And then it was really great, to have someone who see beyond, just the book, but you have the whole picture because you received everything. So from the guide, and you have, yes, it's so great, to have someone who knows, and I don't have really to explain the strategy, my goal, the purpose, and so that, because and it's and then of course you have your life and who you are makes this our conversation so great. So I'm really thankful to know you, for knowing
Well,
you.
I love having a little teeny part in you putting this out in the world. So it's so great. You also have a special offer where you have a fluid living kit. Could you talk just a little bit about that and how the people get that?
Yes, it's a bonus. So if you order the book, you come back to the website beingisnewdoing.com and just fill in the form with your confirmation order, and then you will have the access to the fluid living kit. So it's 3 parts. It's a 10 minutes morning routine Morning 10 minutes practice, the only one you need just to center yourself and start your day center. You don't need to, if you want, okay, do your yoga and the whole morning, miracle morning, but you don't need that anymore. Today, we don't need that anymore. Just find your alignment and act from here. And maybe one day it will take only 1 minute to be aligned, or maybe 2 seconds. And then the other part is we change a lot lately. So there is a part of this kit that helps you to get back to align your vision, your why, your purpose, your mission, and so on, just to recalibrate yourself to who you are today, because it's almost that we are newborn every single month. So, and from time to time, it's really yes, we are shaky. We feel shaky if we are not really grounded and aligned. And the last one, if you really freak out, there is a life buoy, and it's yes, a meditation with a breath work, just to help you get back to your center, so that your mind don't go away from you.
So that's available even if you buy the 99-cent Kindle book?
Yes, yes.
Oh, what a deal.
Yes,
What a
yes, it's
deal. I
part of
love that.
yes, and it's all part of the pre-order campaign. And so yes, it's 99, but you know how algorithm works. So we have to
Yes,
play with
yes.
it, and we I had to agree to play the rules of the game I'm playing. So that's part of the deal until the 30th of March. Then it's the Kindle raised to $9.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting what you mentioned about, the our old idea of spiritual practice. I've had this conversation in my wisdom circles recently. So, we had this idea that we need to meditate for an hour a day and then do our yoga and our breathing and our gratitude work and our this and our that or whatever. And that's kind of once again changing right now.
Yes, and
Yes.
we made, spirituality is the antonym of performance, probably. But we made another performing game with
Yes.
spirituality. There's nothing to succeed in spirituality. Spirituality is all about life and living from who you are, whether you have guides connected to your intuition, your soul, or nothing. It's just living here now, who you are. Be
Yes.
fully present. We
Yeah.
don't need any meditation for that.
No, we don't. It's interesting how we overachieved at business, then we overachieved at spirituality. It's so funny to
Yes.
me. Yes.
And I worked a lot some years ago about on my ego and all the thoughts identified to who I thought I should be. So when I realized that, I recovered. I gained time and energy back. And then I removed my whole 2 hours spiritual practice, and I get energy and time back. And today I have so many time,
Yeah. That's
so
amazing,
much
huh?
time just for me to work, to be present, to do some sport, to enjoy your walk or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here and sharing all of your wisdom with us. Yeah, I hope you buy Valerie's book. Get the
I
free
hope
kit.
too.
Yeah. And go for a mentoring session with her. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And I'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you, Renee, a lot.